Sure.
Are we live? Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody to the, August 10th policy meeting. Do we have public comment on any agenda items? Was there any public comment?
Public comment on what's not on the agenda.
Or, all right. Yeah. Is that at the end? Yeah, all right. So we're gonna move forward to the policies for review with Ms. Graham, and then I will get to you, Mr. Rocker.
Of course.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, today we are going to start with policy GBEBDA, criminal record checks. And this policy has not been updated since 2010. So just updating that to align with current practices and just a little bit of the language changes, as well as aligning some of the things that we do here in the district. So you will see that things that are highlighted in yellow are differing from the model policy. So if it is highlighted in yellow and struck through, then it is recommended to be deleted, and the item under SLED that is highlighted in yellow and not struck through is not part of the model policy, but recommended by the district.
This one?
Yes. Because that is something that we do here in the district, which is running the randomized name-based criminal background checks on current employees, because the law only requires that we run it at hiring, but we do it on a random basis for current employees as well. Although employees are required to report arrest to us, in case they do not, we do that to catch them.
Okay.
Any other questions about this? It's in alignment with the state statute on background checks.
Do we randomly do sex offender?
So sex offender registry is required at hiring, and then our Raptor system checks sex offender registry every time you enter a school and your ID is used.
So
But I will defer to personnel on whether or not we do that randomized for employees. I do not believe so.
So when they come in or scan their badge to go into the school, it would alert if they were somehow convicted of some sort of.
Not an employee, because they wouldn't be checking in and
Yeah.
scanning their ID through Raptor.
But
Presumably, if they were charged, if they were added to a sex offender registry after employment,
Yeah, the
it would have
criminal-
showed up on their criminal background. Yes, they would have had to have committed some crime afterwards.
True. All right then. I was gonna say maybe we should add it, but. Yeah. I'm good with the changes. Does anybody else have any added recommendations, questions, concerns?
All right, next we have GCAC, hiring independent contractors and consultants. There is currently no model policy for this. SCASBA deleted their model policy for both the policy and the rule, which we have both of. And so it is our recommendation to delete those as well. They have not been updated since 2000 and were quite out of date. And so it is just our recommendation to remove those policies. Independent contractors and consultants come through the board as part of either the budget process or individual contracts, depending on the value of the contract. So those are already come before the board, separate from this policy.
Yeah, and that's covered in what policy, if you could, sorry to put you on the spot, but isn't that covered like a certain amount? It's
Yes,
over a
is this
certain
familiar?
amount.
Yes, 250,000 come before the board for approval, and then above 50,000 which one is it that we provide the board a listing of over here?
Bring them over 250 and then, yes, between 50 and 250.
Yes, between 50 and 250, you will get a report of.
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
That's okay.
So do
And
they,
then
you know why they decided to delete them from the,
I don't know. I think because they are covered in a lot of other policies, and because these policies seem to be more addressing individual consultants or contractors for individual positions as opposed to broader contracts. And so those really come to the board through the budget process. For example, when we have teachers or SLPs that are through contract companies, those are already incorporated into the budget. So we wouldn't really need a separate policy regarding bringing those to the board.
I guess I'm just thinking like if there were something we were to need to contract out to like some sort of consultant for various reasons outside of maybe like a staff member, like that's in the classroom or in the building. What would be the process for that? How would there be oversight if it's under like a certain amount of money? Like rather, like maybe we don't want to hire a position. Maybe we want to contract it out because it's not something we necessarily want to create a whole position for because it would be a temporary.
I mean, I think
Would
that that would be something that would just be included into the budget or added on to the budget.
So like
as an
what if
addition,
it's, so
depending
it
on the
would be, you
cost.
would amend the budget like mid-budget cycle to then add that and, okay. I was just wondering what that process would be, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine for the deletion then.
And so that would be the policy and the rule.
Yes, both, yeah.
Okay. Next is GCBD, professional staff fringe benefits. This is also a policy that just generally needed to be updated. Most of the changes here are just to word structure. And you will see that we added the sick leave bank. That was part of the Educator Assistance Act, which was is considered a fringe benefit. So we've added that here. And then the sentence highlighted in yellow, full-time employees who reside outside the district may enroll their students in district schools. That is not part of the model policy, but that is applicable here in our district, so we left that with reference to the other policies that address that.
Looks good to me. Everybody else good?
Next is policy GCNA, supervision of instructional staff. This was again a policy that simply had not been updated in a while, and as you can see, was still primarily in alignment with the model. We did make one change. The sentence that is struck through and highlighted in yellow is the sentence from the model policy. However, the sentence following that was the recommendation from the district. It just provides a little more clarity about the role of the principal as the instructional leader in the school and then the support provided by district and staff support personnel.
Is all this consistent with the model?
Yes.
Okay. I'm good with that. Okay.
Next is GDB, support staff, contracts and compensation. And again, this is simply one that had not been updated in quite some time. And so the changes are identified here. Again, mostly just changes to the language. And just to clarify, when it says the board will set the salary of support staff, that's through the salary schedules that are already developed that incorporate the position, the services rendered, years of service, et cetera.
Is this in the model, right? If it's crossed out in yellow, it was in the model, we're not
Correct.
including it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not what we do.
It is, it just seemed out of place in policy, I thought. And sometimes salary changes could take effect at a different date. And then the bus drivers being in line with the state guidelines is already cited below and part of state statute. So it's
just
irrelevant
redundant.
to stay there. Yeah.
Okay. That, do you guys have any questions?
And lastly, we have the district proprietary security license and department policy. This is a new policy. If you all will recall, last year, the state law was changed to allow the districts to apply for a proprietary security license through SLED. And so our district has done that. The board voted to approve Mr. Doherty to be the business owner of our security business. And so he completed the process and the district has been issued their license. Mr. Jaya has been working really hard with our security department to make sure that everyone is in compliance with the certifications, that we are doing all the things that are required now that they are certified under SLED. And so this policy would just reflect some of their practices and procedures and expectations. And there is, oh,
And one thing to add, if, we're still falling under jurisdiction of Somerville PD, North Charleston PD, and also Dorchester County Sheriff's Department. So again, we're working closely with them and we will not overstep our actions, so.
yes. And I do just want to clarify, there is not currently a model policy for this. So this is a policy that we have worked from a couple other districts, and Mr. Jaya and I took some time to go over it. So this is not based on a model though, just for the board's knowledge.
Just read it through it one more time.
Sure.
Could we, I mean, this would be, it has nothing to do with the policy, but does, could we see about maybe revisiting this policy like halfway through the year, just to see if there's anything that we ran into that we might need to add or amend, just like kind of put it,
Sure.
take note of that. Cause I know like the fact that we're writing it, haven't really needed it. There isn't a model. We're basing it off of what other districts do, but not our own experiences. I think it would be beneficial to just kind of see like what we run into, what questions people have. And then maybe decide if there's anything we need to make it stronger or, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
You still want to go?
Yeah, I think we can go, we need to put something in
Yes.
place,
Okay.
obviously. I I think that it's important, since it's new, that we're evaluating it to see if it's as effective as it needs to be, if we're missing something. And so I just want to put a pin in it,
Sure.
maybe after first semester, just revisit it, bring it to policy committee anyway, and just, you know, maybe have Preston come in, be like, hey, I think it's working here. Hey, I've noticed that this isn't really covered in it. It would be beneficial if it was, that sort of thing. Apart from that, I don't have any issues with it as it stands now. I don't know enough too. But it seems like it's pretty
Yeah,
comprehensive.
I think
so.
we are only the second district in the state to have our license, so I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea to check back in and see how it's going.
But I do like, I mean, even though our policy is in place, like, as you noted, we still have SLED and we still have the local police department. So, I mean, there are jurisdictions and rules and regulations and things that we're following along those lines. This is just for our district. So just for the public's reference, I just want to also strengthen our side of it too, as much as possible if need be. So.
Yes, this is a supplement and assistance to the
In
SRO. It's
addition
not
to.
replacing. Yes.
Awesome. Well, that was easy peasy.
Great. That's all I had for tonight.
Awesome. And then did we have, I know we had Mr. Rockert. Were you also wanting to comment on a non-agenda item?
I was coming to, I've commented before and I
Okay.
would be commenting on the same thing that I've commented on before.
Well, you're more than welcome to if you would like to, but, Mr. Rockert?
All right, yes, I'd like to talk about what's not on the agenda today. Remind you that on June 8th, I spoke up about the policies that were being put forward concerning bullying and harassment, that I had some issues with them. Then on June 15th, I was at the policy committee meeting with some members of the community. We had some issues with them. Nothing got changed between those dates. And then on June 22nd, you passed all of those policies with no discussion. Again, discussion is not defined by one person making statements. That is not discussion. And in that meeting on June 22nd, it was said that we can always bring them back up for review again. I'm here to recommend again, officially, that the bullying policy should come back up for review and there should be a community workshop for it. I've been asking for the policies to be reviewed since 2021. When they finally got reviewed in 2026. In between that time, my own son was a victim of major bullying that was never addressed by the school. And so I've been trying to get the bullying policies to actually stand up for the victims, because at the time, either the policy failed or the district's administration of that policy failed. I honestly don't care which it is. I don't. We're way past that. But the fact remains, I had issues with revisions to the bullying policies in 2026. I voiced it, and my concerns were not addressed. Everything was pushed through as is. And I think that they should come back up for review again, and that the community should be given input on that, as I've been asking for more than 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Rockert. And I'm sorry, Anna, I did not see you. So did you have public comment?
I did. I also have,
You were hiding behind me. so-
I was right behind you. Should I pass out I brought,
Sure, yes. Were you doing it here? Were you speaking at the board meeting tonight as well, or?
what?
Either one is fine.
I could do both.
Because the entire board's not here now, so
Okay.
you do have items that you'd like,
I can wait if you.
either way. But if you'd like to speak here as well,
Okay, I can wait if that makes sense.
would you like to introduce yourself and share what you're here for?
Okay, yes, my name's Anna Llewellyn, I'm a DD2 parent. And I have spoken to so many parents, teachers, community members, students who all have a lot of concerns about AI in schools, as well as screen time usage in schools, especially for our youngest learners and the use of one-to-one devices in this district. So a lot of states, actually it's a global movement, are trying to adopt policies and legislation, and several states already have, which is amazing, to try and get our students off of screens more during school time and with devices used at school. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you. And would you like to speak or just here for support?
I'm here to support her, and I'd like to revisit once again the DD2 policy about assessments. Students can't learn if they cannot see what their mistakes were, especially in math, and it continues to this day. We're going on year 3 where we have not revoked that. And I don't understand how students, especially in geometry and difficult subjects, how they can learn from their mistakes when they have no idea what their mistakes are. You've tweaked it a little bit, but it's still not good enough.
Let me, Mr. Doherty or is Katie in here? Is that administrative or is that a district level policy? I'm trying to remember if there's like a current policy in our policy manual that addresses that, or is it more of a
So common assessments are owned by the district. They're not state, which is different from standardized assessments. So common assessments, we don't provide copies of them to students. Students review them during class time. We provide opportunities for parents, but that is not in policy. That is our practice with common.
Okay, so I was just wondering if there is a policy that I could pull or that our district has that addresses that specifically, that's more of like operational.
Now, there are state practices regarding standardized assessments and those, but that's different from our common
It
assessment.
was just for my knowledge, but I appreciate you, thank you.
Also, I'd like to, what can we do that our students can take their math test by pencil instead of going on the computer? I have not been able to successfully get my students, they thrive better when they're doing it by hand, and I have not been able to get them any assistance with that. We've been denied. So what do I need to do so my kids can take their test by hand so they'll make less errors and it'll be graded by a human being? Because a big problem with this is the AI grading it and writing the test. We've had lots of issues with things being marked wrong that were not wrong, incorrect grades being wrong. When I finally sat down to review tests, I have tests that were completely marked wrong and had to be remarked a year later when I was finally allowed to see them. And they were huge mistakes that should never have happened. And my daughter dropped out of engineering because of it. She's no longer, you have one less student in STEM, one less woman in STEM because of your district policies, practices, as you want to call them. So what can we do to change this? What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to?
I appreciate that. Thank you for your feedback. Is there anyone else? All right, and seeing as we have no more public comment, I will adjourn.